Hello, it is Dr. Sarah Sue here. I am on a hike right now with the Molly dog at the Arboretum in Bellingham. I love it here because this is a leash-free hiking trail. So it gives Molly ample freedom to stop and sniff and then run and catch up. And I can go at the speed I want. And all is well. Everyone's getting their needs met. It's raining today. Feeling super fresh. Smell the air. I swear the colors seem really vibrant. Even though there's like these little units of clouds floating through the trees. So I've been hiking solitude, except for the Molly dog, for the last 40 minutes. And I've been thinking about something, and I just decided I was going to talk about it on here. It's about the concept of wake up. It's a phrase, a term I've heard a lot in the past year and a half. I had a nickel for every time I heard someone say wake up, I'd be cashing in right now. And it just rubs me the wrong way. I remember having a conversation with a good friend of mine, Matt, several years ago about this whole topic. And how when someone says wake up, there's sort of this like underlying assumption that they are woke. And maybe I'm jumping the gun and making some judgments and accusations, which I try to own my interpretation of. But it's sort of like when you're dreaming or when you're sleeping. And can you, in your sleep, tell someone else who's sleeping to wake up? I mean, maybe if you're like talking in your sleep or yelling in your sleep, or you like smack your arm over on their face because you're an active sleeper. But in general, one has to be awake in order to wake someone else up or tell them to wake up. And it's quite audacious and quite judgmental. Woo! Just falling down on the mudslide here. Oh, Pacific Northwest. I'm so grateful for the rain right now. All right. So, the way I've been thinking about it, plus I've a really engaging conversation I was in earlier about race, actually. I've been thinking so much recently about the topic of xenophobia, the fear of the unknown, and like where that comes from and why it lands so commonly in people. And I think a big part of it is like this fear of the unknown, fear of the other, and creating a dichotomy of otherness, or at a worst case scenario, dehumanization that happens. And so when someone says wake up, they're creating a dichotomy of me versus them, us versus them. I am woken up and have the authority to demand other people wake up, whatever the topic is. And I just don't think that is solution-based. I mean, if you think about it in another way, it's like telling someone to relax. Relax. Okay, who's going to actually follow that order? Being told to relax. I remember learning this in phys med at Bastyr. Like, if you really want someone to relax a part of their body, you don't say relax. You do muscle engagement. You bring awareness to the area, or bring in breath to the area, or do a contraction and then a release of that muscle group. But you certainly don't say relax, because the opposite ends up happening. And so, with saying wake up, it's a really condescending way of saying, like, I have more knowledge and wisdom and information than you, and I'm better than you, and you just need to wake up and start believing what I believe. And I just don't like it. It's not solution-based. It's not productive. It's not nonviolent communication. It's otherization. And at worst, dehumanization. So, because I'm trying to focus very deeply these days on solution-based with problems and obstacles coming up, not only in the human body with different client and patient cases, but as a society and humanity at large, what could be an alternative? If you're trying to enlighten or bring light to a topic, maybe instead of saying wake up, we ask people to show up. Hey, how about we show up? Because when we show up, it implies that we are being curious, we are being courageous, we are listening and receiving. We are simply showing up. And we're not attached to the outcome. And we're not scared of the outcome because we're here. We showed up. So let's see what magic happens. And let's stop playing the us versus them game. Because that's kind of what got us in this mess in the first place, and what's keeping us in these big, heavy, intense messes is this whole concept of otherism and xenophobia and dehumanization of different groups of people. We just need to stop that. Treat yourself the way you want others, treat others the way you want to treat yourself. Do you want someone telling you wake up? I don't, although my sassy part of me has different scripts of what I'd say. But that's not higher self, that's ego. So what if we all just were giving each other a bit more forgiveness and grace, and just simply invited one another to the table to show up? And you know, when you ask someone to show up, it doesn't imply that you're there. Maybe it's just a reminder that you also can show up too. And see what kind of magic happens. Thank you for listening. One more shout out to the rain. I'm so grateful for you today. Shout out to the plants. And to these amazing doodle creatures.